cracking? Let's get this thing popping. What's going on, y'all? Everybody come on in and do the tap in with me. Everybody come on in with it. What's going on, man? How's everybody living? Starting the week off fresh. Why is the beginning of the week and it feels like a Wednesday? Why it feels like it's in the middle of the week already? What's up, Harley? It feels like the middle of the week already. Good grief. Today felt like a whole week went by. I don't know. I guess I was doing so much shit today, man. I was running around all day getting the new microphone check orders out and getting a lot of root work stuff out. It's a heat wave. Here's the thing: it's a major heat wave out here on the West Coast. How y'all living back on in the east and down south? Is it hot down there too? We got a massive heat wave out here. If it's a heat wave in the south too, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what it's looking like out there. The heat wave is real heavy, and out here is like Lexi, what was the temperature today, dear? It was like 108. It's just scorching out here. It's scorching out here, man. It's so hot out here, dude. Birds are crashing into my house. Birds are crashing into my windows. They having heat strokes in midair. I'm dead ass serious, man. We got bird feathers and dead birds crashing into the crib. They're like they're frying in midair. I look outside and there's a two-piece just laying in my damn driveway. They turned into some Popeye's chicken birds. It's hot as shit out here. And the good thing is, when it gets real hot, guess what people do? They get musty. And when people get musty, they buy deodorant. So our root work deodorant has been selling through the roof. Dude, you go on Amazon, some of it is sold out. That's the thing, so there's a silver lining in a lot of things. So I hope this sun stays out a few more weeks and getting people more musty. You know, that really does a lot for the business over here. It's good to diversify your portfolio and you make all things work in your favor. But yeah, we're selling a lot of root work because of the heat wave. We're selling a lot of it. I'm dead ass. We're selling this thing. We're selling root work by the bushels. People are buying this stuff like crazy. So we were getting out thousands of them today, man. We were running back and forth to UPS and just getting them out. So many major orders coming in. And you guys can go to rootworkstyle.com. And also the new version of Microphone Check. You guys, the uncolonized version. It's a newly edited, tightly edited version of the film they don't want you to see, the controversial film, Microphone Check. Get the new uncolonized version at microphonecheck.com. I think if you go to Amazon, that version is like number one right now. If you go to Amazon. So that's the movie that has caused quite a stir. And we're still doing our thing with that. Speaking of hip hop, have y'all seen what's going on with a lot of people upset with Jay-Z? Jay-Z, him and Rock Nation, they put together a lot of the halftime shows for the Super Bowl, the company that he's working with. And the Super Bowl is going to be down in Louisiana, down in New Orleans. And a lot of people said, hey, if it's going to be in New Orleans, Lil Wayne needs to be on that stage, local town. So they should have Lil Wayne on stage. And, I agree to a certain degree, that would be fly. Just like in LA, they had the Super Bowl out here and they had Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick. They had the whole West Coast celebration. That was fly. So it would have been fly to do like a New Orleans celebration. To have the Hot Boys and all that would have been real fly. But from my understanding, Jay-Z and Wayne, there's some kind of little backdoor beef going on there. There was some stuff going on, allegedly. And we know that Lil Wayne's artist is Drake. So Jay-Z announced that Kendrick Lamar is going to be performing at the Super Bowl in Louisiana, New Orleans. So a lot of people feel a certain way about it. A lot of people think that's kind of a slight and a diss and a dig that Jay-Z is doing by proxy to Lil Wayne and Drake. So people they really feel a certain way about it. So a lot of the New Orleans artists, Baby, I think Nicki Minaj chimed in because she's clicked in with Wayne. So a lot of them, they feel a certain way about it. A lot of them are complaining about it. I want to get you guys, I want to get your opinion on that too. I want to get some calls to let me know, do you think some of the criticism of Jay-Z is justified? Um, or should Jay-Z go with Kendrick? Because I'm looking at both sides. Kendrick got the hottest single in the game. That single, They Not Like Us, that's going to get a Grammy. It's clearly going to get a Grammy. It's going to be one of the first diss songs to get a Grammy. So that's a hot record. That's a hot song. So is Jay-Z being petty or is he just going with the hottest artist out right now? Because does Little Wayne have anything out popping right now? And I'm not taking no sides. I'm not taking any sides. I'm trying to be as objective as possible. So I'm going to get calls on that a little later. I'm gonna bring y'all in and we'll talk about that a little later. Did you guys see the police footage, the camera footage of brother Tariq Hill when he got pulled over by those tether race soldiers down there in Miami? A lot of people are complaining about how unjustified the handling was, which it was. Those cowardly ass um, anti-black racists were roughing him up, grabbing him from his neck from behind. They were just really going overboard because he rolled his window up. He gave the cop his license and he rolled his window up. And then the cop got on some power trip and they all dog piled him and took him out the car and threw him down. So they was just very overly excessive. And the thing that people don't miss, those dudes, all those cops had those damn foreign accents. All of them had foreign damn accents. They were all Hispanics. All right. That black brown damn coalition that they keep telling us that we're obligated to uphold. That's why we ain't buying that whole black brown coalition. Just like that white man is out there in Chicago putting up flyers talking about black folks need to stop hating on immigrants because we're all being oppressed by the same oppressor. Go to hell. Because the thing is, when you say that immigrants and black people are being oppressed by the same oppressor, foundational black Americans, we try to fight the oppressor. You guys sit up here and try to go and join the oppressor and become the do boy of the oppressor. That's the damn difference. So don't sit here and run this, the same oppressor is getting at us because you're trying to join forces with them. So that's what makes us different. Even in the tape on when Tariq Hill was getting gaffled up, he was like, "Hey man, I'm just a black man. I'm just a black man." One of the cops was like, "Well, yeah, hey, we ain't gonna go there, dude. I'm brown. I'm a person of color. I'm dark, man. I'm a person of color too." I'm like, get the hell out of here. If you don't get the hell out of here, black folks, y'all better stop going for that. We are unique. We're in our own boat. They run this, we all people of color together. No other group fights against systematic white supremacy and oppressive systems other than us. Other groups try to amalgamate themselves in it. We ain't like other folks. We ain't like other folks, man. Let's just keep it a buck. We ain't like other people, man. And it's okay to say, hey, we're differentiating ourselves. I don't want to hear about all that divisive talk. Y'all get with the dominant society and become divisive against us. You become more than divisive. You become oppressive against us. So I don't want to hear none of that stuff. Shout out to Dwan B in the building down there. I see you, Dwan B. He's going to be hosting with me at the Hidden History Museum this coming Saturday. Y'all need to come on through. We got a bunch of funny comedians. It's going to be phenomenal. We got great food that we're going to have, great drinks, great music. It's going to be off the chain this Saturday at the Hidden History Museum, 2131 West Jefferson Boulevard. Go to Hidden History Museum.com to get your tickets. Shout out to Sir Major, shout out to Sister Nikki, shout out to Brooke. I see y'all down there. Um, another thing I'm going to touch on. I was talking about a lot of folks like my last live on my Tariq Radio YouTube channel. I want to clear something up because I was talking about John Lewis. We were talking about John Lewis, and somebody was like, "John Lewis did more than you," and then I had to read my resume off to this, um, because I was clowning that whole nonviolent thing. But let me say this. Let me be fair about something because I want to bring clarity because what I don't want to do, I don't want to dismiss the nonviolent um part of the movement. Let me clear something up because I got to take my personal views out of it because I try to be objective and I try to be fair. Okay. And I've always been very critical of John Lewis. But I'm going to be fair. I am a fair person. Let me say this. Some of the nonviolent stuff was needed. Let's be clear. And Dr. King and others, they understood how to be strategically nonviolent. All right. That was a strategy because they knew the counterweight of the nonviolent front of the movement was the rebellious riders who were in the background ready to get those Molotov cocktails popping. So there was always a real balance to the civil rights movement. There was that silent but very, very present rebellious energy on the streets that could turn up any moment. So the black community played good cop, bad cop strategically, which was very smart. So the nonviolence thing, it did have its place. It actually worked as a counterbalance to what was going on because they knew at the time in the 60s, we were turning up. The black family was turning up. Watch riots. I mean, there was a lot of turning up out there. And the turn up, you didn't know who was going to turn up and you didn't know when it was going to happen. It was very spontaneous. So what would happen was these spontaneous turnups would go down, and then you would have the brothers and sisters who were saying they're the nonviolent one. So it was good cop, bad cop. So Dr. King and those guys, they would sit at the table and then kind of negotiate, like, hey, how you doing? I'm nonviolent. I ain't gonna hurt nobody. I believe we all God's people. But them niggas out there, I don't know what they gonna do. So it would behoove you to pass this bill. It was like that. So Dr. King was very smart because Dr. King, he had some riders with him now. Let's be clear. Dr. King had some riders. He had Hosea Williams. Hosea Williams, shit. I knew Hosea Williams down in Atlanta. Hosea Williams was a rider. Hosea Williams would get a gun on your ass. He had riders with him. The Deacon of Self Defense, all of those, they had riders now. They had riders, but for the cameras and when they sat down and negotiated, they played the whole, we gonna sing some Negro spirituals and we don't want to fight. Now we going to be peaceful in protests. Now that young man over there with that Molotov cocktail and that pistol, I don't know what he gonna do. You have to, but it would just, if you work this deal out, I go over there and talk to him. It's that. So that was a very smart tactic to use. So I just wanted to put that in context. So with the John Lewis's, because what they kind of give John Lewis, the white people give him more credit than what he did. Because what they do, John Lewis is basically a creation of white media. They want to make you think that white people changed their minds about civil rights because they got tired of whooping John Lewis's ass. And that ain't what happened. That ain't what happened. All right. So I won't totally dismiss John Lewis. I won't totally dismiss him, but him just running around for the last 60 years of his life, and he passed. R.I.P. to him. Just going on, I got my ass whooped in Selma tour indefinitely. That was a one hit wonder. We just got to put that in context. Okay, some of that did have its place, but that wasn't what the damn movement was about. All right. We got to be very clear about history. We got to be very clear about history. But the nonviolence did have its place because you had a moral front. You had the people in front of the cameras taking the moral high ground, and you couldn't argue with that. That was something you couldn't demonize those people. Like a John, you couldn't really demonize John Lewis. You couldn't really demonize him. You couldn't demonize Dr. King. You couldn't demonize a lot of those folks who were, standing there with dignity and saying, "Hey, we're not going to fight. We're going to pray." And it was hard to demonize them. And behind the scenes, you had the brothers out here whooping ass for real, for real. We had the militant cats, and we got to pay homage to the brothers who were the militant cats because a lot of them got forgotten. We don't talk about them enough. If you watch my movie American Maroon, you can stream that on Amazon, by the way. Y'all go to Amazon right now and stream American Maroon. We talk about some of those organizations in the 60s that were putting it down for real. That's forgotten about. You dig? So it's very important to tell the totality of the story. And speaking of documentaries, my next film, and I'm really feeling the spirit of doing this film about Dr. Welsing. That's the ancestors are telling me to go with that because it's just real heavy on my heart to tell the story of that sister. I was going to do like the West Coast version of Microphone Jack, but I can wait. I mean, I can wait. I can wait on that. Something is just the ancestors keep telling me to do this piece about our good sister Dr. Welsing, and I don't know why because I've been thinking about it for years, but now it's just real, real heavy. I don't know if it's because of the whole Kamala energy. I don't know because I think the ancestors is telling me this because people keep trying to put these fakers and frauds out here as the face of black women. And I think the ancestors want to show us what a real damn black woman is. I think the ancestors want to show us what a real queen, mother, warrior, black woman really looks like because they're showing us Katanji Dan Brown. We're just getting a bunch of bed wenches, mammies. So we really need to see what a rider, a sister who's a damn rider, really looks like. Because I'm tired of them parading these damn goofballs around as the epitome of black women. Either they are studs or big old blobs of Lizzo and they're Hindu bedwenches. They just put all of these people up here as the face of black women, and they misrepresent black women. They're a bunch of zaddy loving white ass kisses, and that's not black womanhood. That's not what black womanhood man is. We need to know that we had writers like Dr. Welsing who broke down racism so phenomenally and just woke up so many of us. I would not be doing what I'm doing if it weren't for her. She was so influential to me and so many others. So that would probably be the next project. I'm gonna talk to a lot of folks who knew her, and um, they damn near be like a Hidden Colors reunion. Okay, why not when I go live, my fat ass dog get to snoring, man, every time I go live. But anyway, let me get some calls for them from the family because we do have a lot of people in here. Let's get him. What's this person's name? Diligent Dennison. Diligent Dennison. Let's get him in here. All right, what's up, brother? My man, how are you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just curious about your thoughts about the little quell that happened in Washington D.C. as a result of the officer shooting. Did you have any thoughts on that?
No, what happened? I don't know what you're talking about. What happened?
Just one moment. If you don't mind, I'll share it in the jumbotron, and then
Oh,
you can check it out or whatever. But yeah, so there was a body cam footage that came out of an officer involved shooting. It involved an African American fellow sleeping in his car with a gun. You can't really see where the gun is located. Obviously, it was visible to the officers. I don't know if it was up on the dash, if it was and on the center console, but I would say maybe like 8 officers surrounded the vehicle, or hollering at him to get up, don't touch the gun, yada yada yada. And then it shows them approach the open window where he's sleeping. He's in the driver's seat, and he starts to move, and they're screaming at him to, don't touch the gun, don't touch the gun. And the next thing you know, the officer, in which you can see the body cam footage, unloads like, he empties the clip into the guy at like point blank range.
oh wow.
Um, and so as a result of that video, in Washington D.C., they were. I think that they broke into a Gucci store. They were lighting some fires. They were protesting in the streets a little bit.
What's his name?
Um,
Justin?
what was that?
Okay, I'm trying to see what's the guy's name? Because I'm looking online now and I see something called Justice for Justin. What's the
Yeah,
guy's name?
I don't know the guy's name. I'm gonna show you Raw's alerts here. Here we go. I'll put the post up. It's the last one. Let's see. I'll throw it up in the jumbotron. There you go.
Okay.
So it's a protest. I'll read it to you. Protests and small riots forming as numerous people break into high-end stores, set fires, and commit multiple assaults. It doesn't have the guy's name at all. Maybe it is,
Okay.
as a
Well,
result of
this
that.
might be because I'm looking now and I see something. Yeah, they say he was asleep. Nobody thought to disarm. So yeah, it's like Justice for Justin. And there's some people kind of turning up out there. They're getting some yeah. They're turning up a little bit out there. I see what's going on. So yeah, it's interesting. I gotta look and see the detail.
So,
But what I see now, this is something else I see. I see people trying to blame Trump. Okay, I'm looking at some of the stuff now. They're like, "Well, this when Trump is going to give him full immunity." Okay, Trump ain't in office now. I hate when people do that and try to give the Democrat. This is happening under the Democrats right now. God damn it! Can y'all hear my dog? Can you hear my dog in the back screen snoring?
no, I can't hear
Okay,
anything. Nope.
okay, good. But
Yeah, no, I was just. Do you feel like this type of violence is justified in the wake of these events?
what like if somebody gets if a black person
Well, obviously, we saw. You said they're turning it up a little bit. Do you feel like that breaking into the Gucci store, the fires, and so forth?
who
You
gives
feel like those are
who gives
justified in the wake of these events?
who gives a shit about a Gucci store? If somebody lost their lives, and why even focus on a damn Gucci store? That's an inanimate object. I mean, shit, we're talking about an inanimate object and a person dead. I don't give a shit about the Gucci store for real. I don't
Well,
why
I mean, what if there's a security guard working at the Gucci store? You know what I mean? Like,
why
what if he loses his life as a result of what happens?
comparable to this man's life? Why is that even comparable? Why are you even bringing that up? The Gucci store? Who gives a shit? Why do you care about the Gucci
Well,
store?
I mean, because it was literally just in the post. It was just one of the things that are described as the.
Just the fact that you're making that man's life comparable to an inanimate object, that's interesting. That's an interesting perspective. What are the people supposed to do? Let's talk for a minute. Are you a Caucasian gentleman?
I am.
Okay, there we go. What are people supposed to do in a system where they're militarily dominated and they don't know how to break out of that system, and this system is oppressive, and they haven't figured out how to get the oppressive system off of them, and the oppressive system is killing them? What is the appropriate reaction supposed to be?
The same as anybody else's because we live in a debt-based society. So I would argue that we're all living in an oppressive system.
No, not if you're a person who's classified as white.
Is there a
Because
document somewhere that says that I have any different rights than you do?
because Justin, nobody gave him a bill. Nobody gave him a debt bill. He got killed. Okay. Debt and getting killed, that ain't the same thing. See, you make these weird comparisons to the lynchings of black people. There's these minimizing comparisons that you're making, and that's part of the problem there. That's why people are turning up however they need to turn up. If they need to get up in a Gucci store, well, shit, whatever. I just want to see some justice produced. My concern is not the damn Gucci store. How do we stop people from getting unjustly killed? You just had a white boy shoot up a school. They never kill these white kids who shoot up schools. If you can find a way to take them in, you can find a way to take that brother in who's sleep, who wasn't shooting at nobody. You know what I'm saying? We'll worry about the Gucci store later. I just don't give a damn.
I agree that the young man didn't need to lose his life. I'm not stating that. And the Gucci store is just a part of the post that I was reading to describe, the reaction of the people. I was speaking in more general terms, like the fires, the violence, whatever. I
Right,
was curious. I was just curious if you felt like that type of violence, because you were talking about nonviolent and violent when I first came in here,
right.
historically, right? So do you feel it sounds like you do? I'm just surmising here. You can
I feel,
clarify your position.
I feel that people should get justice by all means necessary. However, you need to get justice. you need to get justice. That's the law of life.
Does that apply to all people equally, or is it just to black people?
No, because white people, if you harm them, they're going to get some damn justice. They burn up, shoot, they really turn up. You harm white people, especially white supremacists, they turn up all over. They'll start dropping bombs and all over the place. So yeah, everybody starts to produce justice. We're the only people who are told to be nonviolent. There's no white supremacists who are told to be nonviolent. It's get your hands off my guns. Don't tread on me. You have all types of sayings that says all of our violence is justified. Even in the Constitution, a strong militia is needed in case of tyranny. So you make sure your rights of violence are protected. But we're supposed to sit down and just get whooped and don't go to the Gucci store if you get upset.
Where does that say? Where is that written?
Which one?
Well, any of the statements that you said, I've never read that anywhere where black people are supposed to just sit down and be silent, but white people aren't. Like I've never read that anywhere. Is that in some of our documents or?
Nonviolent all the time. We're told to be nonviolent, and even if we are nonviolent, we're told to just stop being so quiet, stop protesting. Period. Look at Colin Kaepernick. When Colin Kaepernick just took a knee against violence, they messed his whole career up. They sat here and
What
it's this man from
do,
jail because he took a knee against violence. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, the dominant society always punishes us for speaking out against violence against us, even if we're nonviolent. So yeah,
do you know the main ethnic origin of the January 6th defendants who are currently being incarcerated in Washington D.C.?
most of them are white.
Okay, so I have been ever since that event occurred back in 2020 or yeah. So ever since that event occurred, I have heard, white people or all people really to be told not to be nonviolent during their protests. And it was never had anything to do with the color of their skin. Have you heard that as well when it comes to people protesting against the government in the last 4 years?
No, black people are always told to be nonviolent.
But I'm using it. This is for a use case.
Okay,
So
I don't.
are you aware of what I'm speaking of at least?
No, you're not articulating what you're saying that well, sir.
Oh, okay. So people who are MAGA or pro-Trump are regularly told to be nonviolent when they want to go protest the government. For
Who
example, what's that?
who in the hell tells them that? Nobody tells them that,
I have heard it regularly. You
sir.
could probably just search on Twitter.
Y'all got Kyle Rittenhouse running around here who sat up here and got coddled by the media and the
That
court. That's
that has nothing to do with what I'm speaking of, though. That has nothing to do with January 6th.
guys are not told to be nonviolent. Your violence is celebrated and protected. You had Kyle Goofball Rittenhouse running around here gunning people down, and they treat this man like a damn hero right now. You're not told to be nonviolent. Your violence is protected. And the Rittenhouse effect is what we're seeing with these school shootings now. So that's backfired on the dominant society already. So yeah, we're not going to go there, sir.
I mean, we can agree to disagree on that, but
Yeah, we
my
can't.
point my point is that being told to be nonviolent isn't exclusive to just black people, and I kind of think that
It is.
it's nonsensical.
But
What's that?
white people are never told to be nonviolent. In fact, if somebody told you to be nonviolent, that's offensive. It's like we got a right to our guns, our weapons, our weapons, our guns. You praise your guns. The minute somebody even thinks about telling you to be nonviolent, you pick up more guns. They're like, uh-oh, they about to take our guns. Uh-oh, you go on high alert and you start stockpiling more weapons. They don't tell you guys to be nonviolent. Never. It's always arm yourself and you're justified in any violence you do. That's why a lot of people in the dominant white society, when you shoot people and kill people, a lot of times you get off for doing it. It's always justified,
If I could provide you with many examples of
especially
white people being,
black person.
if I could, I'm just curious, if I could provide you with many examples, recorded examples of white people being told to be nonviolent at protests, would you be willing to change your position?
No, Because just because you can find a couple of anecdotal things or a couple of white sacrifices, that doesn't negate the norm. And the norm is white people are never told to be non-violent. You always justified, or you're justified by the dominant society to use violence. You're protected. When you go out here gunning people down, you're not treated like black people at all. Just like these school shootings. These white kids who go around shooting people, they are never killed by the police, ever. But black kids who play with toy guns are gunned down all the time. So it's not the same, sir. You're not going to see.
The Nashville shooter wasn't white and she wasn't gunned down.
She wasn't a child. Y'all stop trying to compare white adults with children. I'm talking about children. White children are protected. I made a post about that the other day, meaning people under 18. Y'all let them run roughshod. Y'all let them shoot up everything, and they're never killed by police. Black kids like Tamir Rice, there was another black kid in 2007 who was killed. I can't think of his name right now. They said he had a toy gun. He was another 12-year-old. This happens all the time with black kids who are not shooting up a school and they're just running around their backyard or somewhere with a damn toy gun. They get gunned down all the time. Unarmed black people get gunned down all the time. The brother in the car that they're protesting about, he wasn't shooting at anybody. He got
But he had a gun.
right,
He
but
wasn't unarmed.
right. He wasn't shooting nobody. He was asleep. So again, we get gunned down all the time just for having a weapon. Just like Philando Castile, he had a legal gun. He got gunned down, and the race soldier who did it still got off. So yeah, it's not the same, sir.
I will admit that there's a problem with the system, and I will also admit that black people are profiled more often than white people. But I will also offer that more white people are shot, during a year than black people are by police. This is provable,
Um,
statistically provable.
because there are more white people who shoot at the police. Most police shootings, most people, when cops get shot, they're killed by white people. Unarmed white people are very rarely killed by police. Unarmed black people are harmed and gaffled up by police all the time from all economic standpoints, as we saw with Tariq Hill yesterday. He was going to his football game and they pulled him out of a car and whooped on him, threw him down, choked him out, and use derogatory language towards that man. So it's a different.
That's unfortunate.
Right. So yes, it's called white supremacy. Yeah, it is what it is. So if people want to run into a Gucci store, we'll worry about the Gucci store when we figure out this white supremacy problem.
What about the fires, though? Is that acceptable behavior?
Yeah, is killing people based on race acceptable?
Absolutely not.
Right, then let's deal with that first, and then we'll go get a fire extinguisher.
So, there's
That
what you're alluding to is that there's a
uh,
priority with tragedy.
oh yeah, the priority is figuring out this race thing. We'll figure out the fire later. All right. That's how we're gonna do it because we're not gonna prioritize black reaction. That's every time black people react to white supremacy, the priority is on the black reaction. Damn it, why did the black person run up in Target? Oh God, why are these black people getting all the Nikes? Oh, why did the black people starting a fire? No, why are you killing people based on race and why do you think that's acceptable? Let's deal with that and then
I
we'll
definitely don't.
all right.
I like because you make a lot of generalizations in your rhetoric, and I just want to say that I don't
Having a
send anybody out anywhere, and I definitely don't agree with black people being killed for their race.
mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm just saying, but I also believe that response is important. If you want to be effective in your messaging, going around and burning buildings isn't really.
The effect.
Tell me when that has been effective.
Okay, well,
Can
no,
you give me an example?
yeah, shit. In the 1960s, it was effective. That's how we got a lot of laws passed when black folks turned up a little bit. Some things got passed.
But we don't live in the 1960s, right?
Hey, you asked when, I gave you a win. You
Okay, so yeah, that's quite a long time ago, though, right? Like we can say
so
it's 60 years ago, right?
you tell me when you have white supremacists and anti-black racists working in law enforcement who are supposed to protect us, and you have judges and politicians who are on this white supremacist code, and you have black people who are not getting protections, and these people can go out here and just kill black people with impunity. What's the proper response for black people, sir? Tell us.
I would argue that the Million Man March was pretty effective. Why don't you do something like that?
So just get 1 million people and go march?
Absolutely. And they did so in a peaceful manner. And a lot of white people and actually people of many ethnicities joined them in that, right?
So
But when you,
okay,
but when you're,
okay, so we've already had a Million Man March and then a Million Man March reunion. Okay, and I was at the reunion, and that didn't stop them. That didn't stop the killing. So then what? We have another one. Just keep having Million Man Marches.
so it's not a really simple problem to solve, is it?
Well, yeah.
Right?
Help,
So
help me.
why label all results, all bad results under one banner? Are you sure it's white supremacy? Are you sure it wasn't inadequate officer training?
Oh,
Right? Are you sure that there wasn't some other rational explanation, or does it always have to be white supremacy?
how do
The
you
generalizations, I guess, is where
how do
I'm
you train
confused.
how do you train them to not shoot black people? And if it's inadequate, why do they keep getting off when they do it? They don't really get punished for doing it, so it's not looked at as inadequate. It's par for the course. They're rewarded for doing so.
What's your suggested solution?
Yeah, you said that the fires was not a solution. You said, "Oh no, no, that's bad." The Gucci stores, that's not a solution. So when I asked you what the solution is, you said have a symbolic march. So you don't know the answer. So if people don't know the
You're right. I don't. It's complicated. I definitely
there's
don't.
no answer, you cannot criticize any response because there's going to be a lot of confusion. And when there's no answer to a major problem, people will do whatever. So it's not my job to criticize people who are trapped in a system where nobody has an answer for them. So if they react however they react, to me, there's a justification to that. Because
Even if it doesn't achieve any the desired result.
if you put somebody hell, if you put somebody in a cage and you're just lighting fires in that cage at them and they're trying to get out of that cage by any means, they're justified to get out of that cage by any means. You can't tell them to, hey, go over there and have a prayer circle in the cage. You can't do anything. And if you're part of the system of oppression, because sir, you're part of the oppressive system. So you giving these symbolic answers and all of that, yeah, that's not going to work for the victims of white supremacy because you're part of the community.
It's a generalization and assertion that you're making. You don't have any evidence to prove
To prove what
that I'm a part of the oppressive system.
you
You
are.
have no evidence to back up that claim.
You are classified as white,
You asked me if I was Caucasian.
right? You're classified as white.
I mean, I would say off white, but yeah.
Off white. What the hell is off white?
I mean, we're being specific. I would say off white. I think I have a, a great grandfather that was half Mexican at one point in time, but that's really not important, right?
That's still
So,
white, sir.
but
Still white, sir.
okay, again, just because I'm white, you're making a generalization based purely on my race. So you are actually, in fact, conducting the very same behavior that you're villainizing white people of doing towards
By
blacks.
acknowledging,
It doesn't make sense to me.
by acknowledging your racial classification.
But you are tying features to my race based on a superficial aspect of myself, right? So the color of my skin is superficial.
Classification.
Outside of it being white, it has no other meaning, no meaningful impacts on my life. I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a
Oh, no,
primarily black
no,
neighborhood.
no, 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 no. We don't
No, no.
poverty stuff because even if you grew up in poverty, if you're classified as white, you have $1 million worth of whiteness, sir. Whiteness has monetary value.
When is that going to get put in my bank? I would love to have my $1 million of whiteness deposited anytime.
I'll tell you, if you harm a black person, it will go into your bank. It'll go in effect just like Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse was poor trailer trash. But when he was targeting black folks and he ended up killing some Negro lovers, which was good enough, they cashed in that $1 million worth of whiteness and they protected him. What we saw with Kyle Rittenhouse, and I love using him as an example. The way Kyle Rittenhouse was coddled in the media, coddled by police, coddled in the court system, a black person would have to pay about 50 or $60 million for that type of treatment, and you still wouldn't even get it. That's where the $1 million of whiteness comes in. It comes in with
So you're using stereotypes, but you're justified because
I'm talking about a fact that happened. So this isn't a stereotype. A black person would never, you show me a black
$1
person.
million worth of whiteness isn't a stereotype. That's a fact.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. A black person couldn't pay for what Kyle Rittenhouse got.
So facts are
Fact.
verifiable, right? Can you and reproducible? Can you reproduce that or
Black person who,
other than Kyle Rittenhouse? Do you have another example of that you can give me off the top of your head?
hey, no, you show me. The proof is on your hand. I'm showing you the proof of a person.
I'm not making the claim, sir. The onus is not on me to prove a claim that I'm not making. It's the other way around.
Put down. You show me a black person who got the Kyle Rittenhouse treatment. Show me.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson was innocent, though.
I mean, in the civil court, he wasn't. I don't know. That's questionable.
O.J. Simpson was innocent in the criminal court. He never killed anybody.
Oh, okay.
No,
But but I thought it was the treatment, right? So he was treated differently in the system, right? He was a black individual. He
O.J.
was treated like royalty, right? Look at what happened. Look at the
No,
exposure that he got. Look how the media treated him. Look
no.
how he was treated
The,
by all the law enforcement. Even the prosecuting attorney
slow down.
was giving him favorable treatment at
Ooh.
times.
O.J. Simpson was being vilified in the media. The police tried to set him up. The lead detective was a damn Aryan Nation white supremacist. What preferential treatment did O.J. get? O.J. just happened to have one of the best lawyers in recorded history, and they didn't let him get framed. So, yes, O.J. was innocent, sir. He's not the same as Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse killed people on film, sir. Not the same.
So then, oh, the system. So the way that you described it, a black man overcame all of the faults in the system and was still prevailed as innocent, right?
Yeah, because he was innocent, yes.
Because he was innocent. So the system worked.
Yeah, the system worked because at the time in LA, you had the streets that was backing the game up, just like in the civil rights movement. You had the nonviolent front of Johnny Cochran arguing this case and proving that this was a white supremacist setup, which it was. And we're just coming out of the LA riots, and the streets was ready to turn up if they tried to pull another janky ass Rodney King move. So the streets made sure that that was going to be a fair trial, which it was. So the reason why that trial was fair, they didn't get to move it to a white suburb like they did with Rodney King. They said, no, we're going to have a fair trial. The O.J. Simpson trial was the most fair trial in recorded history, and he was found innocent, as he should have. The Kyle Rittenhouse case was a white supremacist kangaroo court. They were sitting up here not allowing his premeditated tapes where he was talking about he wanted to kill protesters. They didn't show the video of him.
Did he say he wanted to kill protesters or black people?
Okay, they did. They didn't show the video of Kyle Rittenhouse beating up a girl, showing how violent his little old monkey ass was. That straw purchase where they illegally bought that gun, they threw that out. They sat up here and just changed the rules for that dude. They did the I'm white and I say so, top to bottom with Kyle Rittenhouse.
So does Kyle Rittenhouse, if he does he have to say something specifically against black people to make him a white supremacist, or is it just the fact that he went out there and then was found innocent that makes him a white supremacist? What about it actually makes him a white supremacist? You said that he wanted to go shoot protesters, but did he say he wanted to go shoot black protesters? I don't understand the race thing here.
He was trying to target black people. We got him on video where he was trying to target black people. That's why the white guys was
He
taking.
specifically said black people.
He was trying to target black people. There's video of him trying to target black people, and the black people were calling him out. The black people were calling him out. They were like, hey, man, you up here talking about you doing medical. You were pointing a gun at us. And then the other white dudes started chasing Kyle because they saw that he was trying to ambush the black people. They saw what he was trying to do. And also, Kyle Rittenhouse was running around doing the little white supremacist hand signal with the Proud Boys. So, yeah, he's a suspected white supremacist, sir. That was a whole white supremacist codification thing. You're not fooling no.
Okay, I mean that's fair, but I mean you suspected white supremacists and white supremacists are two things because all of the white supremacists that I've seen throughout history were very overt with their white supremacy. It wasn't something that was usually covert or under you know what I mean. It was
No,
something they were proud to
no,
blast, right?
dumb if you're trying to do it and be protected. Most white supremacists are not going to be overt with it. You're just going to be on code with other white supremacists and then be in denial and act like you're not doing it. That's the most effective form of white supremacy, the denial of it. So you practice it and be like, what white supremacy? Just because I just shot all of these black people, I didn't say I was gonna shoot black people. I just happened to shoot them. That make me white supremacist? Just because I'm throwing up an okay hand signal, I'm just saying okay. I'm not white supremacist.
So if I shoot four people and two of them are white and two of them are black, because I shot two black people, am I a white supremacist?
That's dumb as shit, and you know it's dumb. What kind of dumbass question is that? Don't ask dumbass questions, dude.
I'm just well because that's what you're implying, right? That's what you're asserting that because he shot multiple people, right? Which I think two of which
Dumbass.
were white.
No, that's not what we're saying whatsoever, and you know that. Now, don't dumb down the conversation because now you're just saying dumb.
I'm not trying to dumb anything down, man. I'm
Oh,
just trying to get a fundamental grasp on your position here. It's
Kyle,
just
no, Kyle Rittenhouse on video seeing black protesters saying, "Man, I wish I had a gun so I can shoot them," and then he shows up with the white supremacist.
but he didn't say I wish I had a gun so I could shoot black people. That's
Okay,
the jump the leap that we're making that I
we're
can't you
saying
know what I
no.
mean that I can't reconcile.
We're not going to wait on him to sit up here and make a confession. All right, we ain't gonna sit up here.
It
Just
was
that
this was premeditated. You said it was before the fact.
guys play this little game. Y'all try to be in white supremacist denial. Just if they don't run around yelling nigga, 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 if they don't run around yelling the N word, you're like, what white supremacy? No, we ain't playing that game. This dude,
I'm perfectly fine with a black president
no,
as long as he's good to the country.
if you're running around with the white supremacist group, which are the Proud Boys, that's a white supremacist organization, and you're throwing up white supremacist hand signals, it's pretty safe to assume that you were targeting black people. I'm not going to wait on you to confess, all right?
I mean, you can, but you're making an assumption. So I guess as long as you can realize or admit that you're making an assumption, which leaves room for fallacy, then
Assumptions
yeah.
assumptions are good to make. If somebody shows up to your front door with a ski mask, you better not assume that they're selling Avon. Okay? Some assumptions are pretty good to make in certain situations, sir. Yeah, all of this goofball denial stuff. We're not doing that. Let me get some more calls because now you're just playing the denial game and now you're just saying shit. And I don't want to hear all that. All right. Let me get some more people. No, we're not gonna play the denial game. We're not going to play that. Shout out to everybody in here. We got a lot of people in here. Let's get the honey badger. The honey badger in the building. What's up, honey badger?
Hey, Lovey. I thought we were following each other
Were we? I don't remember. Have we spoke before, honey badger?
many times.
Really?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But so, how many black people did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot?
He didn't shoot any because the black people saw what he was trying to do and they were on alert. So they didn't allow him to ambush him because Kyle Rittenhouse was running around there talking about, you guys need medical? You want to get medical? And trying to get people cornered off somewhere. And some of the brothers recognized what he was trying to do. They were like, you ain't no medic. You had your gun pointed at us over there, dude. You were trying to shoot us. What's up with you? This guy is funny style. So they were pointing him out as an enemy, which he was. And then the other white guys started chasing him. So yeah, the brothers didn't allow themselves to get ambushed by Kyle Rittenhouse. You understand?
Yes, sir. I actually do. And taking a step forward, um,
Can you speak up, dear? You're very low.
oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better?
Take your earpiece out, beloved.
So point being that, um, as much as we're having this conversation right now, and thank you so much for letting me speak. Um, what I'm not a Kyle Rittenhouse fan, by the way. He says a lot of weird shit. I totally get you, but So why do we give credence to a 17-year-old with a gun?
Because he's white. That's all, because he's white. That's it. It's that simple. You protect them at all costs, no matter what, especially white children. Anybody who's considered a white child, you're supposed to protect them at all costs. They literally can do no wrong. Even if they go shoot up a school, even if they go do mass murder people, you never take them out. It's always they're troubled. They didn't know any better.
And
Oh,
they're not troubled, they're privileged. But
that,
taking a step
that's
forward,
what they say.
can
Thing
we
with
agree? Can we agree that the most racist like laws that have ever been put in place are like against 2A? So in other words, I truly believe that 2A is pro-black, because if you remember, during the slave days, that was a time when, that was actually when 2A was being denounced, right? And it was because the slave owners at the time in the South didn't were scared that the slaves would come and shoot them.
But yeah, all white society didn't want black people to have guns. It wasn't just the slave owners. In fact, that's why they reclassified some of the Native American tribes, because there were Native American tribes with the black phenotypes. You had a lot of Aboriginal people in the Americas who had big lips, big noses, afros, and coarse hair, just like the phenotype of black people. Many black people come from that. And there were laws for Native Americans. Native Americans could have guns. So you have these black natives, especially I think they were in Virginia, a lot of places on the East Coast who had guns, and a lot of free black people who were enslaved and got out of slavery would live among them. So no, the white supremacists couldn't differentiate between the free slaves and the black Aboriginal people. They just all looked the same, and that scared white society. So what they did, they said, well, let's just reclassify these black Aboriginal people, these black Indians, and just call them free people of color, and make laws against free people of color having guns. Free people of color couldn't have guns, but Native Americans could. So they've always had these oppressive laws to keep guns out of the hands of black people. The Second Amendment was never for us. In fact, and we all know
Well,
out here,
the Second Amendment was meant to keep guns out of this, like the freed slaves, right? Like basically, like it was like when 2A came into vogue, it was actually like it was actually the Republicans that gave 2A. Or am I wrong?
well, I don't do the Republicans, Democrats thing, because
Well,
those parties,
we have to unpack the roots of
right, because those parties, but we got to understand those parties are interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? Those parties have always been historically interchangeable, because in the 1800s, the Confederates were the Democrats, the ones running around with the Confederate flags. They were Democrats. Okay. And when you look at Unite the Right, the people who go around protecting Confederate flags and Confederate monuments are Republicans now. That's what that whole Unite the Right thing was, out there at a Confederate monument in Charlottesville, Virginia. So yeah, it's interchangeable. So I don't, that's kind of a distinguishment without a difference. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to get your perspective. And by the way, I'm getting a bunch of thumbs down while I'm like talking to you, and we're just having a conversation. So taking a step forward, what would you like every white person that actually wasn't here during the time of slavery? You know what I mean? Like a lot of us immigrated from maybe, Ireland or Poland or whatever. What would you like the rest of us to understand about the roots of, the foundational Black America?
Right. Um, what I don't want you to understand anything, because you understand what has been done. You already know that. because it's your community that put a lot of stuff together to undermine us. So you know what was done. You are abreast on what's happened. And that's another con job, black people, when people want us to start explaining to them, that's a con game. They know they orchestrated all this stuff, all of that. Let's do some deep listening. I want to hear, I hear you. Damn all that. Let's get those checks popping. Y'all need to break bread. That's what you need to go to do in the white community. Say, hey, look, we need to break bread. We've done a lot of devious things economically to harm these people, and we need to compensate them for all the economic harm that we've done, all of that playing dumb and then being in denial. Well, it was so long ago. You guys, the white supremacists, they economically deprive us right now to this very day. They have never stopped economically depriving us. So it's time to get those checks popping. Let's get those checks popping, and then we'll sit down and I'll give you some nice Negro stories. How about that?
Well, I mean, like, I'm not against anything you're saying because you're coming from your perspective. I'm getting a bunch of thumbs down, and I don't understand why, because we're just having a conversation. I will never label you as like some sort of a black man, and I really hope that
But I am.
you.
I'm a black man. I'm a
Well,
foundation.
I guess what I'm saying is like you're a human being, and
But I'm a foundational Black American. I'm very proud of that. I'm
but
proud.
but you're a human being, and I'm here to listen and understand. And I just hope that you give me the same credence as an Irish Polish Catholic. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah, but you still need to break bread. All right, break bread, break some human being money. Let's do that. All right,
I'll do my best. Thank you,
all
sir.
right.
I'm gonna drop off. Thank you for letting me speak, sir.
Thank you, dude. Y'all gotta watch out for white women like that. See, niggas, y'all better watch out for them kind of white women because they'll try to give you some white coochie for reparations. You're like, what can I do? See, no, no, give me some money. That's what you do. Well, I got some pink titties. No, I don't want that. I want some justice. They try to give you um white coochie justice. See, that's what brothers, y'all be falling for that. You better watch out for that. All right, let me get some people in here. Let's get Willie. Let's get Willie in the building. Willie got one of them alt-right beards. What's up, Willie?
What's going on, Tariq?
What's going on, Willie? How are you?
Nothing. I have a couple questions. Don't mute me. Kick me out of the room because
Well, have
I'm a straight shooter.
okay, but slow down though, okay? Because you
Okay.
already sound like you're gonna be doing a whole bunch of talking points. So let me give you the rules real quick.
All
Uh,
right.
you don't talk over me. Number two, you slow down. You don't just throw a whole bunch of talking points from 4chan back to back. This is a conversation. And number three, let me know where you're from. Where you from, Willie?
I'm from Pennsylvania, sir. Sorry I didn't mean to come off that way.
There you go. So what's on your mind? Let's talk. Let's go.
So I'm having a hard time understanding this. You're saying that every single person that is white supremacy. So a baby born today that is white,
Slow
are they a white
down, slow
supremacist?
down. We don't do that either, Willie. We don't do that. I never said that, and I never even remotely alluded to that. I didn't say that. Okay, we don't do that. Okay, that's very now that's something that a suspected white supremacist would do. Not saying that you are, but being deceptive. Deception is a trait of a white supremacist. They all white people are not white supremacists, but white supremacists are the most powerful people on the planet. There are a lot of white people who are not white supremacists whatsoever, but they are not the powerful people. The people who believe in white supremacy are more powerful than them because the system still exists. So let's go from there.
Okay. Now, I'm just going off because I heard your conversation with Diligent, and I follow him, and I think he brought a lot of valid points, and it seemed like whenever he was speaking, that some of the stuff that he would say that was making headway, you would kind of flip the conversation. So that's where I'm trying to pick up from there, and just
What was you saying that was making headway?
I believe Diligent was saying some very good points. He's more well spoken for me. To be honest, I didn't even think you would accept my mic, so I'm not as prepared. But I do want to have a good conversation with you.
Let's go.
What do you feel like? What do you want me as a white person to do to help?
Pay us our reparations. I'll need you to go out here and make sure we get the reparations that's paid.
Okay, so going by what you're saying,
Hmm?
how do I know who and what I owe reparations to?
Are you a part of the United States government?
I'm a U.S. citizen.
That's right. That's a part of the United States government. You're a U.S. citizen. So that means you're part of the system that owes Americans reparations for slavery first. We're just talking about slavery first. We'll get to the other stuff later because there's so many other things where there has been economic deprivation and targeting of us. But we're just dealing with slavery, the building of this country, where my family had to build this thing for free and got no compensation. And all of that money was hoarded and maldistributed into white hands and in the hands of white supremacists. And then they went to Europe and said, hey, guys, come on over here. This place called America, that we got all of this wealth from these black people. And if you're white, we're going to give some of it to you. And then people packed up on boats and came on over here knowing what the deal was. So since you came over here and you knew what the deal was, you owe. I hear that. I wasn't there. You came over here. You heard there was some ill-gotten gains, and you were perfectly fine with it. So you were complicit. That means you owe. That's how that works, right?
Yes, I'm following what you're saying.
There,
So
there we go.
but we have 330 million Americans.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you stated what you said and you believe. So my question is, how do we get everybody on board to even get on that topic of consideration to get what you're asking for?
Mhm. It's just doing the right thing. Just do the right thing. The same way all of this money is being unjustly given to non-citizens who are not even citizens. People are just crawling across the border, just getting housing, medical care, money, debit cards, EBT. Just simply redirect that money to foundational Black Americans so that we can boost this economy and do the right thing. That's all we got to do. It's real simple. It's not rocket science.
All right. So if it's that, like you said, it's that simple, does it piss you off that the Harrison Biden administration is feeding illegal aliens so much more money and you're not getting anything?
Yeah, I'm not pissed off. We're just used to we're not even pissed off. It's not even an emotional thing with us anymore because we understand how white supremacy works. Our thing is do this stuff to undermine us, and then they try to shame us into supporting the political process. And we're saying no, we're taking the emotions out of it. We're not trying to hug, kiss, dance, sing, eat collard greens, none of that stuff. We're trying to have a action. If you want to get in office, if you need this political machine to work, you're going to have to bring something to the table. This benign neglect policy that they've been having against Black Americans, that's going to stop if they want us to engage in the political process. And if we drop out of the political process, that becomes a dangerous constituency. And they know that because a group of people who have no faith, who has no faith in the system, that's a rebellious group waiting to happen. And they don't want that. So it would behoove them to just do the right thing, right?
Yeah, in theory, but some of, there's people of your own race that disagree with you. So if you
Like who?
can't get people of your own race to agree with what you're saying, and you think, we come from the cloth of white supremacy. Sorry if I'm not saying that the right way. I
Right.
mean, uh, uh, how do we physically find a solution? Because I honestly don't think I'm cut from that cloth. By me being white, obviously, I think you said that to Diligent before, but I think differently. So, I'm not gonna fight you on this. I want to know, like, what is our solution to get to this then besides paying reparations? Because I don't think there is a solution to even get that done at this point. So
Okay.
where do we start?
Here's the problem. You cannot have a continued system of non-justice. It's going to inevitably fail. So you can have it fail fast, you can have it fail slow. So it's going to fail if you can't have a perpetual system of non-justice. You can't have that because then what you have to do, you have to then create an oppressive system, meaning that you have to create a police state, which is what the white supremacists try to do. So instead of paying us the reparations so we can have an equitable society, they use that money to give billions of dollars to militarize police so they can just hammer down on us, which triggers more injustice, which triggers more violence, which triggers more pain. You got to do lawsuits on the place. So the white supremacists, they want to sit up here and cut off their noses to spite their faces. It costs more money to produce non-justice. To maintain an unjust system, that's more wasteful spending. It costs billions of dollars to maintain these militarized police units. When there's riots, billions and billions of dollars of damage is done. Right now, there's like a mini riot in DC right now. That's wasted money. And that money could be used for justice. That money could be used for reparations. We could be circulating that money in the economy. Everything could be all good. But they piss it off by spending that reparations money unjustly. So the money is going to be spent. It would be better to be spent in a good way instead of a negative way, because the money is going to be spent either way.
Yeah, and I'm obviously you're a fellow American. I'm a fellow American. I love the American people as a whole. I don't put a color on it. Um, but like what you were saying before is, with the riots and stuff. I mean, it's kind of like the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting the same result.
Hmm.
So I'm not arguing with you here either. Please don't think that. I'm just
Right.
really trying to wrap my brain around this entire situation and understand and learn from it better. But I I'm not seeing a solution, especially if you want a solution where you think that we're the problem, if that makes sense.
Well, the solution is rectifying what the problem is that the white supremacists created. They created a very specific problem for a group of people based on race. We were based on race, and we're still targeted based on race. They made that part of their culture. They created a whole culture called white supremacy. They created that, and they made laws to protect a culture that they created. White supremacy is their term. They bogged down in our heads that they're going to have this system of white supremacy, and we're supposed to be some kind of second class citizens. And we said, no, that's not, we can't really work with that. And we have been fighting against that nonstop. So it would be best for the dominant society to just do the right thing and give compensatory justice to the people that they've wronged. That would just make sense. Just do the right thing. That's not so hard. If it's so hard for them to do the right thing, well, the consequences of that is so many negative consequences of it. Again, wasted money with militarized spending because in order to oppress people, that costs money. Oppressive systems that cost money. They tried to do that in Rome and it failed. That's going to crash the system. You cannot spend all of that money trying to create an system. It doesn't work. It has to be an equitable, just system. And if they don't want to do the right thing, they can try to create all of these little segregated enclaves. And then that genetically doesn't work because now you become these relationships in white supremacist society becomes incestuous, and then the neurological diseases are wiping you out. So it just produce justice. It would be best to produce.
Okay, well, I appreciate you allowing me to speak with you. Um,
Absolutely.
I pray that one day, we can find a solution to where there's no more labels or terms like that, and that everybody can kind of find a positive solution, because I don't like seeing us divided. I mean,
Yeah.
division is horrible.
Yes, it is. So
And
they better get them checks going. Let's get it going.
uh,
White
that
supremacists are they're controlling the checks. So if they don't want no division, let's get those checks going and make some justice pop off. It's a long time. All right.
yeah, thank you, sir. Sorry if I wasn't the most well versed there. I wasn't really prepared, but yeah, I
You are
just I hope that we can find a way to find solutions for everything and get rid of division. That we can all work as one and instead
let's
of against
divide
each other.
checks up. Let's divide them checks up. That's how we're gonna do. I want to see checks divided to Foundation of Black Americans. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, all that splaining. They know what it is. That's the solution right there. The shit is crumbling. You want to make a solution, that's the solution. Stop sounding sad, because that's they all say, oh, dude, I don't know, dude. I just don't freaking know. No, that's what you do, dude. Produce some damn justice. If you do something wrong, do something right. Damn it. I'm confused, dude. I don't know. No, you ain't confused. You gonna have to produce justice. All of this oppressive shit, you can't do it, man. Ain't nobody going for that bullshit no more. That ain't happening no more, dude. Uh, you you're making yourselves enemies in the eyes of humanity, just like with our brother Tariq Hill getting gaffled up, an NFL player. People are looking at the white supremacist funny style. The white supremacist brand is horrible. And now that the world is browning up, you with this funky brand of oppression, that's not a good look, and people are looking at you funny style. So now, yeah, being that oppressive white supremacist, that don't have the same pizzazz as it used to. Ain't nobody really feeling that shit no more. So yeah, you want to hold on to your little janky power, but you can't do it in an oppressive way. You're going to have to produce justice. People are looking at y'all funny style now. You dig? Ain't no sympathy for you like that no more. Being oppressive to innocent people and not doing the right thing. You're not getting no sympathy as white supremacist males, and you feel that. Yeah? The world is turning on that right now. So it's best to produce justice. Don't sit here acting confused. We're all human, dude. No, I don't want to hear all that. Let's get some checks going. Hey, where's the money? I wasn't there, dude. My family was in Scotland, man. I don't want to hear none of that stuff, dude. I don't want to hear about your family being in Romania eating Rice Krispie treats. I don't give a shit. You came over here, you owe. It's time to cough up the dough, man. It's money time. They see we're hellified on code right now. We're on code, man. And we're talking about money. That's what we can do. I don't want no symbolic gestures. You saw you heard the white woman calling up. Didn't y'all hear she was kind of trying to sound flirty? That shit ain't working. I don't want to hear that. Hey, what can I do? No, nothing. Pull your panties back up and go drive home, going somewhere. That's what you can do. I don't want none of that. The white women calling up trying to sound sultry. I don't want those. I don't want them kind of reparations. No, y'all gave that to them baby boomer niggas. Y'all gave white cooch to our uncles and stuff. That worked on them. That don't work on us. They trying to use them old tactics they used in the 60s. Right when they to stop niggas from rioting, because cats was turning up in the 60s. They start throwing the white women at them. And the nigga had a Molotov cocktail. The white woman was like, hey, Otis. Them old niggas got them niggas named Otis. Hey, Otis, don't throw that. What you mean, Kathy? Don't throw that Molotov cocktail, Otis. We gotta let's think about this. What you want me to think about? What you think about these white titties? Ooh, Lord, have mercy. Free at last. Oh, Otis and them saw them white titties, and then they put the Molotov cocktails down. See, that shit ain't gonna work over here. That's why I'm telling you, that's why niggas stopped rioting. That's why in the early them 70s movies, they always had white women in there. That made niggas put the guns and the Molotov cocktails down. Them white women. Yeah. That calmed them down. That shit don't work no more. That don't work over here. And we still turning up. All right, let me get some more calls in here. Any more white women in here? Where the white women at? Let me talk to y'all.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tariq Nasheed. I'm out here at the Hidden History Museum here in Los Angeles, and I want to invite you to the September Soul Saturday event that we're having here at the Hidden History Museum. We're going to have a lot of phenomenal comedians. We're going to have complimentary food, complimentary drinks, great music, great mingling, great networking. So I want to see you here. Join me here, 2131 West Jefferson Boulevard in Los Angeles, September 14th, 2024, 7 p.m. Come on and vibe out. For more information and to get your tickets, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. We'll see you here.